What's up, beautiful people, to another episode of the Ricky Jones Jr. Podcast. It's me, Ricky Jones Jr. back again for another video, another episode, another conversation, another all those things in between. Now, on this one here, I'm also excited about because I have my friend, the Inouye Davis, okay, whole name, first name, middle name, and last name, okay, in which I had his father on Tuesday's conversation, Tuesday's video, Tuesday's episode, and things like that. And so if you missed that, definitely go and tune in there after you listen to this one, okay? So don't jump ship and go from over there, you know, because you're already here. Just be here, be planted, be rooted, and things like that. And then we will get over there to that one, okay? And so without further ado, as you all know, I love to do shout outs. And on this here shout out, okay, this one goes to my brother. I actually did a conversation on him. He was actually my first conversation, I believe so. Yes, first Father's Day conversation. It goes to my brother, Antwaun Underwood Sr., okay? At the end of the day, largely because he still supports, shouts out, and all those different things like that. But then on top of that, his sister then tuned in, Miss Foster, which I'm gonna just call this a double shout out. Shout out to you, Miss Foster, as well. She is a YouTuber, so if you could, if you would, I'm gonna put a link down below. Go and check out her YouTube as well. And you know, it's a family thing, okay? Wood talked about the different things they have going on as far as DJing things on a radio station this here month or this summer. And so go and follow those things, but then go ahead and tap into his sister, Miss Foster, as well. And you know, let's just keep it in the business, family business at the end of the day, loving and enjoying each other. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, let's go ahead and get into today's conversation, which is going to be a pleasure, a joy. I know it's going to be so great. Okay, y'all. Alright, great people, I'm also excited today, largely because my brother is here with us, the Inouye Davis.
HD.
You know what I'm saying?
HD.
HD is what we call him, but I had to throw his whole name out there just to have fun with it.
Put the MBA on it. You gotta put it. If you're gonna say Inouye Davis, you gotta put the MBA on it.
To make it official.
You know?
Inouye Davis, M.B.A. Because the boy did his studies, okay? The boy is wise in there, okay? But nonetheless, I have you here today, which I'm also excited, man. I had your dad here on Tuesday, and now you here today, which I'm excited just to hear you from your perspective, knowing the source of fatherhood that you received from him, which was phenomenal. Shouts out to him, like, you know. But even he shared with us that he came into your life when you were 8 years old. However, even in that and with that, you know, y'all been together and loving each other like it was A1 day one. Well, no. He married your mom at 8. He came into your life when you were younger, I think like 2 or something years old. But nonetheless, go watch that video. You know, not getting that was his business. We'll get into your business, right? But let me ask you that, just to even merge the two together. What were some things? Well, first of all, let me let you introduce yourself the way you may want to be introduced.
I am Inouye Davis.
Yes, sir.
MBA. Man, I'm just an outstanding person. Sure. I would love to be my friend.
There it is. You know, I like that.
I love people, man. I love to listen to people. I love to engage. I'm a people person, and that's one of the things that I just love about myself. You know, from all aspects. Yeah. You know, from the toddler to the executive. I can host that conversation and, you know, engage in many facets. Yeah. So, you know, that's one thing I love about me, man, and just one of the things that I connect big with, connecting with people. So. Yeah. No, I love that. I love the fact that you even said things that I love about myself, largely because some people, you know, try to take this false humility approach with the idea that I should not love myself or think about myself, you know, too grand and things like that. But the Bible just lets us know, don't think too highly of yourself, which lets you know you can think high of yourself, just not beyond what you should, which you thinking of yourself in this respect of loving people, friendly with people, getting to know people. All are qualities that every person should have, right? But I love that you have those things emphasized for yourself. So we're going to dig into it. We're going to find out more of what that's like and how that translates to your everyday life as we have our conversation. However, I do want to start off with the question, what were some things that your dad, Coach Williams, lived out in front of you that you still stay true to as a man and as a father yourself? Well, before I jump into that aspect, I have to say man, he's always been like a pillar for me. He's always been, you know, my biological father died when I was 5.
Okay.
But I have vivid memories of riding with him, and I don't even remember what age I was, but maybe it was, you know, 5, maybe 6, maybe even around that. But he had a Monte Carlo SS. It was white. Okay. And I remember, you know, it was plush. He had plush burgundy interior in it. Oh. And I was riding in the front seat. So I have vivid memories as a kid riding with him in this 2-door coupe. But he's been such, man, he's been, I don't even consider him, like, when people say stepdad, that doesn't apply to me. Nice. That's my dad. Yeah. You know, he came in at a time in my life where and he immediately filled a void. Like I said, I lost my biological father at 5, so when he came in, it was just like a pickup. I didn't identify that it was a pickup right away, but it was a pickup. He was always my voice. He was always just that comfort that I needed. He was always just my outlet. Like, he was my biggest support. You know, he was my biggest support. Wow. So, man, my relationship with him, I don't think I'd be the man that I am today without him. And so, there were a lot of things that he did. I watched him growing up. Yeah. Pouring to other kids. Correct. You know, from him being a elementary school teacher to him coaching. You know, so I watched him just not only, and I can honestly say, like, the same thing I watched him do for other kids, he did for me. Yeah. You know, so I was able to have that as an example and just not even worry, because, you know, it was the same thing across the board. It was always even killed with him. So I was always glad at the end of the day to know, man, look, I wake up, this guy's here. Wow. You know, I go to sleep, this guy's here. Wow. You know, other kids that, you know, that loved him as well, they got to spend, you know, a few hours at a time with him. I got to spend, you know, my lifetime with him. So I was always just, you know, very appreciative about that. And anything I didn't know, you know, I didn't understand, you know, he was always there to just kind of talk through it with me. Yeah. Even if he didn't know, he would, you know, we could talk about it. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? We could talk about it. So, and that was always just exciting, man. And even to this day, the person that he was raising me is the person that he is now. Wow. Even to, you know, other people kids. Like, you know, I mean, he's recreating himself, you know, constantly, you know, with the different generation, and he's always been the same. You know, he's always been the same. So I love him. Yeah. You know, I love him to life. He's one of my favorite people in the world, and without him, I'm nothing. So I salute you, Dad. Yes. I salute you. Yes, that was a nice intro, man. That was good. I'm glad you cut off when you cut off. I was getting a little misty, let's get a little hazy here or something. I don't know what that was, but now that I love that, man, for sure. And man, just even hearing his conversation and things that we had and just hearing what you said, I can definitely see how those bridges and things will come together, as you even talked about, and even love the fact of the consistency that you speak of that he has and still lives out to be who he is, but then, like you said, reinventing himself to what is going on right now and things like that, no matter what's going on in his life. So, no, I dig that. Definitely go check that out. But we're going to talk about you, right? Yep. You, HD, being a father of 4, a husband to 1, right? And all that you do. So, was the goal to have 4 kids? Let me ask that. The goal was not to have 4 kids. Okay. You know, but we still love them all. Love them all. They know love that. Them all. You know, it was all time. It was timely. Okay. And it had to happen. However, we were open because we both loved kids. You know, we met at a daycare. Okay. You know, we both had summer jobs while we were in college. Okay. This was, you know, that was our summer job. Yeah. So we met at, I don't remember the name of the daycare, but it was on USF campus. Okay. And so that was when I first laid eyes on her. But anyway, and so we both came from, you know, fairly small families. She, you know, my wife has a brother and a sister. I also have a brother and a sister. So, you know, we had siblings.
Yeah.
So, you know, the idea for us to, you know, when we had a family, just to have our own small little community.
Yeah.
So, you know, when one came, you know, we were both hoping for a boy. And she was a girl.
Okay.
Shout out to Knaryah.
Yes.
Then number 2 came. You know, we were both hoping for a boy.
Okay.
And we got a girl. Shout out to Nairobi. And then, you know, we just knew number 3 would be a boy.
Number 3 got to be the boy.
You know, we were hoping and, you know, and we have a lovely, lovely young lady, Naomi. Shout out to Naomi. And then number 4.
Yes.
God's promises are real. His promises are true.
Yes.
He gave us our Noah.
There it is.
You know, our Noah.
There it is.
So, you know,
the boy came.
The boy came. He is the completion of the Davis family. Yeah. So I realized throughout that process, you know, there were some things about me that needed to be filtered.
Okay.
And that filtering came with all my daughters. You know, I was rough. You know, I was rough. I didn't value. I didn't know how to appreciate my lineage before my dad was womanizers. They were, you know, they were womanizers. You know, from my granddad to my biological father. So I realized, you know, as life comes full circle, for me to be the individual to change generations, it had to end someplace. And where it ended is where I picked up, and I didn't know where to pick up. But because of my dad, Coach Williams, you know, he gave me that newness, that fresh start. So from there, I was able to just see a difference of life, you know, and still try to kill those things that were born into. And so with my daughters, you know, each one of them was a filter for me, a filter to learn how to love. Knaryah, I can honestly say she softened me. You know, she was you know, my first daughter. So understanding what it took, you know, being a girl dad. And then Nairobi came. And when Nairobi came, that was a period in our life where you know, there was some infidelity to take place. So I noticed in the birth of Nairobi, it was because she was in incubation at that time. When she was born, I noticed the connection was a little distant, but I noticed that through love and through her seeing me love her mom, and our connection grew. And these were all things that I had to identify with. Like, I didn't share this with anybody outside of this interview, but these are just things that I was always just in tune to. And you know, Nairobi, she's very smart. She's very intelligent. Even as a toddler, like she could pick up on things, and so that taught me a lot. And again, I'm still filtering. And so learning how to be. Learning how to love, you know, properly. Learning how to love from a support aspect. Learning how to you know, still die to myself. You know, be selfless. Less of me, more of, you know, more of them. And so Naomi came, and she's like the epitome of love. Like she's not so clingy, but she loves to love. You know, she's our February baby too. She's a day after Valentine's. Wow. So she is our love baby. And so from there, through those 3 filters, really taught me. And then, you know, also to my wife, no discredit to her, but through my 3 daughters and my wife, I learned how to be the model that I needed to become for the birth of this young man who, again, I didn't understand. God always told me I would be the individual to change generations. I didn't understand how. I didn't understand what that meant. But when he came along, I knew that everything that I was was everything that he had to be opposite of.
Yes.
And so because of those filters, because of that life process, when this guy came along, it's like my mindset was different. You know, the things that I thought were important then, I didn't even care about. I just wanted him, and the important thing for him, and I tell him all the time, I call him Little Daddy. You know, I'm Big Daddy in the house.
Okay.
He's Little Daddy.
Hey, Little Daddy.
And he facilitates that.
I was about to say,
well,
I can see that.
So, you know, he makes sure, and I tell him, man, you got to love your sisters. You know, I can be rough with you can be rough with Dad, but when it comes to the girls, you know, you love them, you protect them, you know. I spent some time away on a semi-truck, and I would always, you know, talk to him, and I would address him as Little Daddy to not so much give him the responsibility of filling the, you know, the void of me not being there, but just instilling in him that, you know, I'm trusting you. You know, you are the Little Daddy. You the man while I'm away. And so I can see in him it just kind of gave him this
life,
you know, gave him this life. So now he's like, he literally walks around now, he's checking his 18-year-old sister like, what you doing with that shirt on? You know, you need to change that shirt. That's a crop top.
You know what a crop top is? How old is he?
And he's 5.
Oh, I love that. 5 years old.
Man, this guy, so, you know, everything that it was purposed by design, man. God makes no mistakes. So everything that happened in our life, from you know, from the infidelity to where we are now, is all, you know, all purposed by design. So this guy, everything that I was, he's gonna be the complete opposite. So that's our 4. You know, that's our 4, man.
I love it.
And I wouldn't change it for the world.
Right.
You know, we started
all
young.
intentional. I love that.
Yeah. My wife was a freshman in college. Yeah, we started young. She was a freshman in college, and I was a junior in college. Okay. And you know, I was 23 at the time, and she was 19 at the time. 4 years apart. So it just, you know, we grew with them. You know, we grew with them. So I would never frown upon anybody starting young if that happens to be you. It's an opportunity for you to really tap in, you know. All the things you don't like about yourself, or all the things you didn't like about your upbringing, this is your chance to recreate that, to redefine and just structure you know, the things that you didn't like to the things that you want to see, and the things you want to cultivate in your family. And that's always been my mindset. That was important for me. There were a number of things that I didn't like about, you know, just some of my relationships growing up, that I decided when I had a family, I'm not yelling at them. I'm just going to love them. I'm going to love them through all their mistakes, and just be able to soften the voice so I can really penetrate the message that I'm conveying to them, or the disappointment that
you may have.
You know, we may have. And so, you know, again, if you're young and you've started a family young, this is your chance to just grow with them, because you're growing, they're growing, and you guys are feeding off each other. You know, never be too old to learn, or you know, too young to listen. You know, so
I love that. I love that. Now that's great. Even speaking to those that may have started a family younger, or find themselves raising a child at a younger age, right? I mean, that is something key to your point of you're learning and growing together. Correct. Which is, you know, something that we may or may not think about, because I mean, some people are in the thick of it, right? So they just trying to do everything, but not giving the child the grace to know that, I mean, they're learning and growing, but then also to giving themselves the grace to know that I'm trying to figure it out too, right? But they just, So I love that. I love that. Now, speaking to that group, now let's speak to the group of people that are in the situation, because a lot of people are doing it right now. Not everybody, but a lot of people. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe a lot of people are already doing it as far as truck driving. But, you know, I'm just seeing a lot of it now, right? So speak to those people, those fathers, those families that find themselves with a parent on the road. Like, what was that like?
Oh Man, so I'm a very engaged dad. So to go from waking up every moment with with my little ones and my wife, cooking dinner for them, saying my prayers with them before we we went to sleep at night, to not being there was a huge sacrifice. And it was a conversation that we sat down as a family, from the oldest to the youngest, and I presented to them, this is what dad is about to do. It's a sacrifice for the family. And everybody bought in. I don't think everybody knew what that looked like, but everybody bought in. So it came as a it was definitely a stretch. The country is beautiful, but for me, the family is much more beautiful to me. And I didn't realize how much I was a pillar in the home until I had to venture out. So it was pretty tough, man.
How long were you out there?
It was pretty tough. So 30 months. So 2.5 years.
Yeah. Which went by fast.
It went by extremely fast.
For me, right?
It went by fast. For me too.
Your kids or Nurka, she might have felt a little different, but it went by fast from the outside. But so knowing that shift took place, like, what would you say were like the hardest parts being away, knowing how you are and the pillar that you are in the family?
So being able to come to everyone's aid, my oldest would call me dad, what do I do, or dad, or my wife calling me saying, hey, your son's acting out in school. FaceTime can only do so much. Correct.
You threaten so much.
Yeah, and I believe in discipline.
Yes.
And likewise. I would FaceTime my son literally, and this was when I knew it was time to come home.
Okay.
I would be FaceTiming him, and he would act out in school. So I got him on FaceTime, and I'm like, no. It's disappointing, man. Like, what are you doing? And on the other end, I'm watching him and his body language, and he's like, la la la. So now it comes to threats. I'm gonna be home. I'm gonna be home, and I'm gonna get on you. And he's looking at me like, you ain't here right now. And man, that was doing no good, especially to the point that by me not being home as often as I wanted to be home, when I got home, it was more so just love. It was more so me loving them because I missed them so much. So
that you didn't want to be the corrector and things like that.
Couldn't be that.
Because you're there for like 3-4 days. Yeah. And so, yeah.
Yeah. So, at that point, I would just pull him aside and just remind him of the conversation that we had, but let him know why I was disappointed, and let him know, if you're going to carry this little daddy's title, there's expectations that I need you to uphold, whether I'm here or whether I'm not. And so, he understands, but he's a kid, so I expect him to be a kid, but he responds and he knows, he knows well. Yeah. And so, yeah.
Yeah, so that was it. Gotcha. So then you notice at that point, like you said, you realize it was time to get out the road when, on one hand, Noah was like, your little phone threats are nothing. At the end of the day, like, I'm going to still do what I'm doing because I'm here, you're not.
Yeah.
Now, on the female side, your girls, right? You have 3 daughters, but also a wife. Was there also any moments that you realized, oh man, like, I'm a father, I'm a husband, I need to be there for them, and I need to get off the road because this isn't allowing me the ability to do so?
Yeah. I started to hear it in my wife's voice, and she often reminded me that, she never set out to be a single parent. And, knowing that I was providing for the household, it got to a point where, I didn't even care about the money anymore. I didn't care about I knew the family was going to be taken care of regardless. And then it was just that point of, you know, I have a partner, and I'm not a good partner if I'm not spending time with my partner, supporting my partner, being able to conversate with my partner, and not just over the phone. You know, there are many things going on. I'm paying attention. I'm training other students at the time. You know, she's multitasking. She's wearing all my hats and her hats. And so, you know, I realized that, you know, she deserves more, you know, than to just be financially secure. She needs the emotional security as well. And that was one of the things that just really softened my heart, because she, you know, she believes in the family. You know, this is a whole family. You know, so the sacrifice that we initially talked about started to really weigh down on her, and that wasn't what I intended. That wasn't a goal. And I really had to get back to just really start to seal, you know, that foundation, to reseal that foundation, because it was starting to get a little shaky, you know, and you know, I felt the trust, you know, starting to waver a little bit, because I initially said 1 year, you know, 1 year turned into 2 years, then it turned into a year and a half, you know, 6 more months. So she's counting down, you know, she's like, okay, when? Hello. You know, when? We had our date. You told me that, you know, and so I was like, all right, babe, just, you know, a couple more months. All right, babe, a couple more months turned into a year, you know, and then, you know, a date was set. And then I still went beyond that date, but, you know, she just knew, you know, that the end was near, and I promised her, you know, no later than this date I'll be home. And you know, instantly, you know, when I came home, I just felt the difference. Everybody was glad. You know, I was able to just pour into her and just reconnect with her. That I didn't realize how much I missed as well. That's good. And you know, really made me appreciate her even more, because she did, you know, the unthinkable. I never imagined, you know, spending that much time away from them, let alone her, and her keeping it together. You know, she so, you know, I honor her. I thank you. Thank you. Yes. And you know, she's deserving, man. That's my rock. Yes. She's my rock. I had to put it in my head. You know what I'm saying? I dig that. So even to the point of now, like, just extending, you know, who you are with the idea that, you know, a husband, a father, a man, but then also, you know, a business owner. At the end of the day, you had to be mindful and sensitive to what was going on at home, which allowed for you to make the different transitions and things that you made. But then I even love the idea of you giving responsibility to Noah, right? Your youngest son, calling him little daddy. Like, that's giving him responsibility that I think a lot of parents, right, or even a lot of fathers may or may not do, with the idea that they're not old enough, they're not ready yet, they are just a child, right? We'll give them limitations based off of our thoughts, but I love that you're growing his thoughts with responsibility. So more than anything, I'm even seeing and hearing how you're growing him with restraint, right? And I say that because even in your responsibility that you gave him, it wasn't like, I need you to go provide. Like, you're not little daddy to provide. Right. You're little daddy to maintain, to protect, to help. And sometimes to correct, you know what I'm saying? You wearing that crop top. Wait a minute, what now? What are we doing? You know what I'm saying? Like, that's do that, little daddy, do that. But I love that, right? And I'm saying that too, knowing that I have a son, he's 3. And so just thinking of different ways that I can even use what you're saying to help foster maturity, responsibility, trust. Because trust is also being built during that time as well that you're doing with him. And then also you're just helping him be a better man for his family, for his spouse, for himself. All right, first himself, then his spouse, then his family. I love that for so many reasons, because, you know, it just helps
foster great legacy.
Correct.
Great generations, which you even talked about. You changing generations. What are some other ways that you think that you'll also change generations?
So one of the things that you mentioned that I want to hit on,
yes,
is I don't limit anything that I share with you. I tell my peers all the time who have younger kids, don't limit. Don't think because they're an infant or because they're a toddler that they don't understand. And from the oldest to the youngest, my wife and I, we never, we never baby talk. We talk as if we're talking to each other, because their minds are sponges.
Yes.
And as adults, sometimes we limit, we put capacities on their learning.
Very true.
And they shouldn't.
Don't have.
They shouldn't. And so. So for all of them, man, I talk to them, I convey, messages to them, and then I'll speak in a few different parables just so they can understand.
Yes.
I'll say it directly, how I intend to say it, and then I'll find examples, and then, I'll break it down, and then, finally I'll just put it in their language, so that way they can tie it all together. I'm just sewing it. I'm just sewing it. So, that was one of the things.
I like that.
And then the other thing that you mentioned, there are so many things that are going on in our home. We are business owners.
Yes.
We're employees as well. We do a lot of community things, and we're involved, and so we wear many hats. And so I try not to, especially as an example, I try not to allow any of that to overshadow the idea of family, and because of that, whether it's our own businesses or whether it's work, we talk to all of them, and they understand, okay, from this time to this time, this is what we're doing. So there's a great deal of structure, from planning, planning business to work life to family life. So for them to understand, even with school, while I was in school working on my master's, even while the kids are in school, we make sure we show them that, in the time of the day, how to be productive, being productive, utilizing the time that you have, and just not wasting it, trying to be productive, as we are. We're constantly working towards something, and we're always desiring to have more. We're always desiring to just live out our dreams. We dream big. We encourage everybody in the house to dream big. And we talk about it. We don't just do it and keep it in our head. Correct. We talk about it. That 6-bedroom, 7-bathroom, 8,000 square foot home that we're desiring is coming. We don't have it right now, but it's coming. And so I cast that vision to them, and outside of just casting that vision, I'm showing them the irons that we have in the fire. And I talk to them, from a financial standpoint, and being a good steward, to to just work, to your entrepreneurship, having multiple streams of income, are the things that are going to help get us to where where it is we desire to be. So
now with that, let me ask you this, right? Because we're here, and at the end of the day, the people, have an opportunity to buy into who you all are and the different facets that the Davis family presents to the world through your entrepreneur endeavors. What are some different things that you all have going on as a family currently?
Wow. Okay. So,
and I'm gonna put links down below in the description for all of these different things. So let's go for it.
So we've got a number of things.
Yes, sir. Which I love that. Right. The Jones family is similar to the Davis family in that respect. Like when we have different ideas, we gonna give you time to think and how you want to piece it together. But
it is here.
Okay, hit it.
So we as a family, we have a Love Sky collection. It's a t-shirt line where we involve the family. Ideas from everybody.
Oh yeah.
You know, they can cast. You know, they have a vision to see things evolve and come to life. And my wife, you know, she'll lay it out. She'll design them.
Fashionista.
You know, my fashionista. You know, speaking of her. She has her fashion blog. She's a creator.
Yes.
She's a content creator.
Yes.
I have to learn it. I
like how it came out.
I have to learn it because you know she's so in tune to Instagram and you know I'm learning the lingo. Instagram was only for entertaining purposes for me, but she's you know she's gotten it to where she monetizes.
Yeah.
And,
we'll put a link for that.
And she's doing something that she loves to do. Like she wakes up, she goes to sleep. You know, creating and imagining how she sees herself in, you know, in her ensembles. So we've got that. I have a car lot that I've been an independent car dealer since 2012.
Yes. Help the many people get cars.
Yeah. That's something I enjoy because. I know the market, and I like to see people win. I don't like to see people taken advantage of. And again, that's just one of the things about me as a person. I know how I am with my earnings, and you know, it's not how much you make; it's how much you can save. So you know, anytime I can help somebody save in a car purchase, I'm gratified. Yeah. So we've got the car business. We have the semi-truck business, In Your Lane Transport and Logistics. Car Lot is In Your Lane Auto Group. Nice. The trucking and transportation is In Your Lane Transport and Logistics. Nice. Let's see what else we have.
You know, it's at 4 so far.
And we have 4 so far, and then we're building. Yes. We're building one right now that is going to be. That's gonna be the big wealth. Nice. The big wealth builder. Nice. It is the legacy of the Davis family, and it's a vision that God shared with me at 5 in the morning last year in November 12th, and it was so big. He just woke me up, and I immediately just started writing. So stay tuned. That is in the works right now, and so. That is also a business that will be Davis family hands-on from the queen of the castle to Lil Daddy. We are all
Lil Daddy
hands-on. So.
Yeah. So then how do you all manage all the different things, which you talked about the trucking side of things? You know, there is that knowing where you have to be sensitive and aware to know, okay, enough is enough, so let me redirect how I do what I do. But how do you all do the other 3, right? As a family, as a unit, but still living life together and doing other things that you all are already doing?
You know, that's so cool because we don't make anything that we do come off as work. You know, it's you know, I show them a difference in owning your own and working your own versus laboring for somebody else. Yeah. You know, when you have your own, you don't really think retirement because you know it's yours. So you're raising it. You cultivate it. You love it. Yeah. And you continue to grow it.
I love that.
And so as long as it's our business. Yeah. You know, you give it your all always. And even, you know, when you're working for an employee or an employer, right. You know, you give them your all. Yeah. So, you know, that also translates to your own business. But when it's your own business, this is something that, you know, you're putting your all in because you can also leave it, you know, leave it to
the next,
you know, to your next.
Or sell it.
Or sell it. Yeah. You know, or sell it. And it's yours. Yes. You know. And so ownership is one of the biggest things that we talk about when it comes to entrepreneurship. You know, when you are the boss, no one can tell you what to do with your business. It's your business. Yeah. And so, you know, how you treat it, what you want it to be, what you want out of it, all goes back to what you pour into it. And so,
which I love that, especially the ownership talk, knowing that their oldest daughter, Knarya, is an artist as well, right? And so what's going on now in the world, I'm going to say, a lot of people are talking about ownership, masters, and having those things and selling masters and things like that. So that's even good as a household, as a family, while are having these conversations now, so that, you know, when and how that matriculates with her music, she'll know what mindset to have going into reading deals, having conversations, what room she goes in, and things like that. So that's beautiful.
And that's nothing short of a conversation that we have in our household. I'm always talking to her specifically because she has a gift.
Yes.
You know, and that's a gift that I don't want her to... I want her to realize that it's a gift, that everybody doesn't have a gift. Everybody, you know, in the industry might have a desire to be at a certain place in the industry. But are you gifted to be in the industry? You know, so there's gift, and then there's work ethic. Excuse me. Yeah. And so with that gift, if you match it with a work ethic and understand the business that you're in, you know, you can be successful. You know, you can definitely be successful, but it takes, you know, if you have a gift, you still have to perfect your craft to consider yourself a professional.
Yeah. Now I love that with as far as the professional situation and even mastering your gift, right? Knowing that she's a singer, knowing that she's a writer as well. What are different ways in which people can tap in with her, right? Because we want to show her gift. We want people to be able to be in tune with her gift and all the different things. Because, let me just put it out there, he didn't put it out there, but at one point or another, he was a manager of his daughter and had a record label and things like that. So, talk about that. Let's talk about that.
That just comes from me loving music, man. I have had some managing opportunities, managing and promoter opportunities, both in the secular world as well as the Christian side of music as well. So it's something that I enjoy. I enjoy music, and I have an opportunity to just pour. You know, I love to share the knowledge that I have, the things that I've learned, the experiences that I've had, in order to help the next, in this case, my daughter, be able to, you know, be able to reach that plateau. You know, so it's a beautiful. It was a beautiful opportunity where I can just see her growth. You know, see her growth. But I did not like the aspect of me feeling like I was a Joe Jackson or a Matthew Knowles, you know, because it's a gift,
right? And because your daughter,
and it's my daughter, you know, I treat it precious. You know, I want her to love it, not be forced to love it, but love it organically. And so, you know, we did some things. And then we took some time off. You know, she was young. She was 13 when we created our first EP. Wow. And
I did not realize she was that young.
Yeah, she had some great people around her. She still has great people around her, from her producers to, you know, her vocal coach, and so she's growing right now. She's evolving. So,
which I even love, right? Let me jump in with that, because the people that you are speaking of are people that I know, and I even say that too because there are people that go to our church, right? But that just shows the necessity of community and how being in the right community can lend yourself to great people and opportunities that will be great for your kids, for yourself, for your own comfort and things like that. Because I mean, you could drop her off with them and not think nothing of it, but that's not always the case when you aren't surrounded by the right group of people and or community, right? Now, we're not saying you have to go join a church, but that is the community base that we have, people at our church. So community is great.
Community is great. And here's the thing, for those entrepreneurs, for you know, for those people out there striving to be successful or millionaires, or you know, if wherever you desire to be financially, success isn't acquired by one individual. There's always a community.
That's good. That's good.
And these are conversations that I'm having with everybody in my household, specifically my oldest daughter, because she was hesitant about communicating with other people to help her write. And I had to show her through song credits how many writers
are a part,
are a part of a big project. So you take, you know, the biggest name artist, whoever may be, and you look at that hit song, that Billboard trending song, and then you look at the song credits, and there's like sometimes 10, 12 writers for this one hit. So that's community.
Correct.
And as a result of that community, when that song is trending, that song is doing, you know, platinum numbers, that's you know,
the team win.
That's the team wins. And so,
but you can't be afraid to reach out.
But you can't
which is the
be
point
afraid
you're
to
making
reach
with
out.
her. Oh, I
Correct.
love that. I love that.
And as a leader, you know, you know, a leader doesn't lead for themselves.
Yes.
They don't create a path for themselves. A leader creates a path for others.
Yes.
You know, and that's one of the things that are just very important to me as an entrepreneur. I want to be able to create opportunities for the people. You know, in a philanthropist effort of just knowing where I was at a period in my life.
Yeah.
You know, what would have been a stimulus for me. You know, so as a leader, as I'm creating and networking and building a community, I want to be able to allow that community to just funnel down and create other communities that could also build in a root system. You know, my gardener here.
Right.
You know, you got this one big, you know,
stem.
this stem.
Yeah.
But beneath the surface of that soil, you've got
channels
community
roots.
Roots and you know, many channels. And so that's with business, with entrepreneurship, with, you know, with vision, with music. You know, that's how I see it. You know, that's how I see it. So.
I gotta shout him out since he tried to call me. Well, I won't say try. Since he called me out on the garden tip, him and his daughter are having garden wars. I'm gonna call it, as far as
shout out Nairobi. You know.
You've been right, Nairobi. Everything that you said that your dad has had, you know, thoughts.
She's one-upping me.
It's been right, you know what I'm saying? But that speaks to, as well, the value of community.
You're right, I'm wrong. You know, we're a community, though. You know, we're doing it together.
I got your back. What you've been saying was true. It is true. But at the end of the day, I'm saying to say, like, community allows for you to not only know when you're trying something new, because you all are doing something new, gardening and things like that, but it allows you to bounce that off of people who are doing it. But then, two, keeps you within a sphere of, okay, I said she was right, and you don't feel no type of way, right? Because it's like, okay, we trust each other. Yeah. You know, you can go back, as you've already done, saying you're right, all that good stuff. I mean, but that's a part of it. That's a part of fatherhood. That's a part of parenting. That's a part of being a man. That's a part of being a husband. You won't always be right.
Never being too manly to say I'm sorry. Never being too manly to admit you're wrong.
I love that.
Never being too. And I just told my daughter, funny last night, I don't care about being right. If I'm wrong, I'll be the first person to tell you I'm wrong. But I don't care about being right. Let's just make it right. Yeah.
Oh, that's good. That's good. Yeah. So we have some. Well, she's already made it right on the garden tip.
Yeah, she is.
She's already made it right.
She's got sprouts. I don't have any yet. She's got sprouts. I have none, but it's coming. It's just further down in there, but it's coming.
The problem. But no, man, it's love. It's love. Now, let me ask this, man. Is there anything that you would want to share to fathers that may be watching, men that may be watching? You already gave some great gems, so I'm not taking away from what you've already said. However, maybe there's something that you do want said that we did not touch on, that now they're here.
Man, lead by example.
I love that.
And even as a man, you know, community is important for us, because there's gems that I get. You know, never being too old to learn, or never being too young to listen. And so, you know, be a sponge. You know, even as a leader, you have to be a sponge. You have to be, you know, make yourself accountable.
Yeah.
You know, to other men that you respect, and be able to you know, take bits and pieces out of their notebook for the growth of yourself.
Yeah.
You know, because you're only as good to your family as you are, you know, to yourself. Did I say that right?
Yes, sir. Yeah, no, that's true. Yeah.
And so, you know, when you are edifying, when you're growing, when you're, you know, when you're pruning yourself, you know, you've got fruit for others. Yeah. You know, good fruit for others.
Right.
And the family at the end of the day will love that. So, so that it's simple. To me, it's simple. To me, it's simple.
Yeah.
You know, I don't think family is complicated when you are thinking about them first.
Yes.
You know.
That's good. That's good.
Even
that's
as
what your dad was saying too.
Yeah. Even as an entrepreneur, you know, I know the vision, but I'm not the focus of that vision. It's other people. It's you know, as my man of God used to say, I can't think of what it is right now, but it's
we're talking about other people.
Huh?
It's talking about other people.
No, it's gosh.
That's good.
It's
well, what is it basically saying?
It's the something on your life isn't for, the anointing on your life isn't for you. It's for those people that your life touches.
Yeah, no, that's true.
And that has always been big for me in everything that I do, because you know, my life isn't for me. I get to live it, I get to enjoy it, but it's for those people that my life connects to. You know, being able to instill, being able to pour, being able to share value with them, and just them knowing that I care, genuinely care. I don't care for something to get out of them. I care about them genuinely, and that's for my family. That's to my friends. You know, that's the people that, you know, I engage with. You know, I take a genuine interest in them. Yeah. So, you know, that's one of the biggest things about me and manhood, that I just think fatherhood, that I just think you know, is a game changer.
I love all of that. So know that I'm gonna have to have you back in respect of entrepreneurship. Absolutely. Right, we're gonna have to have further conversations on that, but then also too, speaking of like legacy projects, I want to like just dive into that. Knowing that entrepreneurship is a thing, but then I think separately is a conversation as it pertains to legacy projects, because as you talked about, God not asking for that information, but just talking about what scope and mindset and vision that you have to have that encompasses not only yourself, but your kids, their kids, and their kids, right? Absolutely. Which is a huge thought to have, and even thing to even consider when you're starting something. So we're going to talk about that on another conversation. But man, I appreciate you. And even to your point of like dropping little nuggets, that was something that your dad was doing. So it's like, it's cool just to watch how you are, but then in the respect of who he is and how he does and how he leads, right? Because essentially we are reflections of what we've seen. And so, you know, being a reflection of him is who you are, but then your kids, little daddy, being a reflection of who you are. You know what I'm saying? I can only imagine hearing you talk about that crop top. But I don't have to, because he was talking about that crop top.
He got it.
He took care of that. You know what I'm saying?
Delegating. You don't even know I delegated. That's it. Little daddy.
I like that. I like that. But little things like that, I think, goes a long way. And it makes fatherhood fun. It makes parenting fun. Absolutely. And it makes it a joy each and every day, because you don't feel the burden or thought that you have to do everything. But now I have you, y'all
community.
That's it. I call my kids little adults. Y'all are little adults right now, and I'm gonna treat you like that. And yes, you're gonna bump your head, you're gonna mess some stuff up, but just like us as parents and adults, we try again, we do different things, and we make it better at the end of the day. So, no, man, I love it. I love it. I love it. I appreciate you. I thank you for joining us today. And what are some ways that people can contact you and reach out to you? I know, like I said, in the description, we'll put those 4 businesses as well as your Knaryah's information out there so people can contact and reach out to her. But what are some ways that people can hit you up?
Me, I am, I'm easily accessible on Instagram. I'm not, a big fan of Facebook, although I'm on Facebook. So if you message me on Facebook, Hiram Davis MBA, or if you reach out to me on Instagram, I am HDE. Those are my 2 social media platforms. Other than that, get in contact with him, get my contact number, and I'll be glad to connect with you.
Yeah.
Whoever you are.
Right.
Whatever you have to share, I'll be more than happy to, to share, to help you grow, help you be better, and, help you love. So, yeah.
Boom. Yeah. So, with that being said, great people, we love you, appreciate you. Make sure y'all stay tuned for the rest of this video. Well, ladies and gentlemen, he did not disappoint. He came through. I love how methodical my brother is. You know what I'm saying? I love him, and even the way he talks and thinks through the different things that he says. And I love him, and I love him and them being the family. Because it's a family thing. My wife is friends with his wife, right? And our kids are learning to grow together, right? At the end of the day. And so we're gonna work all those things out like we talked about. But at the end of the day, with it all, I thank you, Hiram. I appreciate you all for listening. I hope that you learned something. Hope that you got something out of what was said. But then too, I'm sure you saw the parallels between what Hiram said and what his dad said on Tuesday, Coach Williams. So in it all, with it all, that's the beauty of fatherhood in a nutshell. Y'all got to see it in 1 week, right? From the top down. But at the end of the day, with it all, as you all know, I love to do booms and busts. So on today's moment, I feel like, let me just say this, okay? Now, just discrepancy at the end of the day. I felt like I was having a lot of booms, and I felt like it just wasn't enough bust. So I had to look around and find something that was a bust for me, okay? And I happened to pull out this here gorilla stand scenario. If you listen on a podcast, it's one of those holder scenario that you hold for your camera. Usually a lot of podcasters, or excuse me, YouTubers use this here device when you holding it out there oh, look at me, look at me. This is what I was using in the beginning phases of my YouTubing ventures, right? I'm not gonna call it career because I'm not full-time, but nonetheless, in it all, I was using it. But now it is not the best. Quite honestly, I love the tripod. Just go give me an old-fashioned tripod with extension legs and a long neck, right? And that's what I'm even using now for the camera that is filming this here podcast. And I was trying to use this before, but when you bend it and things like that, you would think oh, it's gonna be strong, it's gorilla, but no, it flops and things like that. It's not fit for longevity, okay? It's good for a year. It's gonna make you happy for a year, but after a year, it's gonna be a bust, okay? And so that's what this is now in my life. It is a bust. It collects dust. If my wife doesn't use it, I definitely don't use it anymore. So hey, bust, 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 okay? Don't waste your money. Get you a tripod. I promise you, you'll be happy in the long run, and that's what matters, okay? So without further ado, great people, I love you all. I appreciate you all. I thank you for tuning in, tapping in, listening, and entertaining me, as hopefully this was entertaining for you in the time in which we spent together. So with it all, in it all, I love you all. Y'all know it's hard for me to say goodbye. I could talk and I can go and I can spend time with you, even though I'm not even speaking specifically to you right now. But as you're watching it, I am. But I'm even thinking with you in mind as I'm saying these words. I love you all. No matter where in this world that you are listening to, I have love for you. So in it all, love you, love you, love you. This is sign language for love you, okay? I love you. This is sign language. So with it all, until next time, peace.